guys, welcome back to the channel. Video 2 for the day. I'm looking in on my Ukrainian style mead that had the rusk cake and the hops in as well. Now I'm really looking forward to having a look in this and tasting it, because I've never heard anything like it with hops and cake. I've heard people hopping them and I've heard of people putting cake in. There's a lady called the Healthy Alcoholic on Instagram, and she gave me the idea for one that I'm going to do, where she puts honey buns in a mead, some leftover apples and just stuff that was like, you know, needed using up and stuff like that. So awesome idea. Banged it in a mead. So I'm going to copy hers one day soon actually, but I can't find honey buns in England, so I've got something that's I think's the equivalent. It's called cinnamon swirls. I expect it to be the same kind of thing, I'm not sure, but anyway, let's get into this. Now I've got a feeling that I need to take a hydrometer test before I remove it from this vessel. I have, however, I've sterilised this, ready to take it out, and I've got a sieve just in case it is time to take it out. Now, on the actual ingredients and recipe on the Ukrainian recipe website, it said 2 to 4 weeks fermenting, but they used a technique where you just put a damp cloth over the top and then somehow some natural yeast gets in there. They didn't mention adding yeast at all or anything like that, but I've added a mead yeast. But I also forgot to add nutrients. Which is a bit of a bugger, but it's, you know, I've done it before and I've not had any problems with it. So I might move away from using the nutrients soon well, once they're used, to be fair, because I'm not going to waste them, because waste is just silly. So I didn't use the napkin. I used the lid and an airlock. So let's get this lid off and have a look what we've got. I mean, I've got a demijohn ready as well to, what's it? I've got to remember the word. Holy moly. Now that looks like a goddamn mess. What the fucking hell's that? Jesus. It smells very, very hoppy. Now there's 2 types of hops in there. We have got saaz and lubelski. Now they were 2, what are we doing down there? I mean, oh bugger. I forgot to flip and tighten it back up. So, yeah, we've got 2 types of hops in there. We've got saaz and lubelski, and the hops that they're trying to recreate with those, well, I'm trying to recreate with those 2 hops, is one that was called Clone 18, which you can't seem to buy anywhere. So, I need to get some sort of a bowl to be able to, yeah. I'm gonna have to use my hops bowl, I think. I need something big enough to cop hold of this. So yeah, the hops bag is gonna be I don't know where to start. I'm just gonna get covered in mank. Right then, so I'm gonna have to let this drip out because I actually want all of the juices in that. So let's spin it round and create pressure, because the amount of liquid that the hops themselves hold will be unbelievable. Oh, whoa. Oh man, let's just drain it off. Stop trying to do it an unconventional way and just squeeze it back out. It has got a super hoppy smell. And the amount of liquid coming out of this is unbelievable. You wouldn't want to waste it. Obviously, everything that's in there has been sanitized, so nothing's really going to be able to cause an issue. Hopefully not, anyway. And we did have a reaction in the airlock, which means it definitely was fermenting sugars. It's just a bit messy, that's all. I think we're nearly there. The smell of this is just, the hops, these two hops are just amazing together. And that's only dry hop, that's not boiled at all. I think we're done. Right, I'm going to quickly go wash my hands. And then I'll be back. Righty ho then, we are now back. The hands are clean. The giant hop bag has been taken out. Now there was 200 grams of hops in that. There's cake all up the wall. It landed all over me. I've got it on my shirt. Probably on the curtains and everywhere else. Right. Now then, for a hydrometer test, because we're going to want to know how much alcohol is in this. Now that does seem to have bypassed the cake, so I'm hoping most of the cake's gone down to the bottom. There's still a bit floating on the top here, and we have lost a bit of volume from the oops. Let's just take a bit of that out. Oh, I'm dribbling all over the place. Oh, it's all over that as well. Gordon Bennett. Right, okay, that's actually surprising. So within, what day did we start this? 22nd. It's now the 29th. So that's what, a week? It's actually devoured pretty much all of that sugar. It's at 1.104, which is like dry. It's like crazy dry actually. Let's give it a taste. And it's just an interesting concept of putting cake in there as well. Now I did see a little bubble go then, so I'm thinking it's still fermenting as well. It's extremely juicy, full on hoppy fruitiness, like very citrusy. Extremely citrusy. There's definitely alcohol in there. You can feel it warming you up. It has fermented quite a bit. So let's make a quick note of today's date, 29th. And it was at 1.004, which means it's consumed quite a lot of hops. Quite a lot of sugar. So we're not going to be able to siphon it, I don't think. I might try and siphon it. I might siphon what I can, and then after I've siphoned what I can siphon, I will then resort to putting it into the sieve, because if I can get as much liquid from this as possible. Yeah, there's still bubbles occurring, so I'm assuming. How am I going to do this? Because I need to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to have to do it a bit lower than normal. You won't be able to see it being racked off, but well, you will be able to see the liquid moving, but you won't be able to see it actually going into the pitcher, I'm afraid. So I'm going to zoom, I'm going to speed this up, make it go zoom zoom, because yeah. Okay, so that didn't go as bad as possible. I was actually able to siphon most of it out. That's just under 3.5 litres. There's still liquid in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to then sieve the last bit of the stuff out as it said to do. It says to filter it into bottles, but I'm not ready to bottle yet because, pardon me, I really, pardon me, want that to clear out before I put it into a bottle. Otherwise, when you come to drinking it, every time you tip your bottle up, you just get a shed load of yeast and gunk and crap just kick up. Then you can't pour again from the same bottle. So what I end up having to do is then decant the whole bottle and then drink it within a day or so. But I don't want to have to do that all the time. Anyway, hydrometer and the gravity check that we've just done says that this is at 12.4%. Now, it hasn't calculated for any of the sugars that was in the cake because I couldn't measure that. Well, I could have if I'd have looked, but I don't know how much of that is actually fermentable sugar, so I'm not even going to count it. We're just going to say that it is at 12.4% at the moment. 12.4%. Right, so I'm going to speed this a little bit up and I'm going to add the rest of that into there and just let it drain out because we want the liquid from it all, don't we? Of course. There wasn't much need in speeding that up. All that's left in the bottom there now is all the yeast down at the bottom. There probably is a bit of cake in there, but there's hardly any liquid, and I'm not willing to risk lobbing that gunk in there. I mean, I've got a bit there, which is okay. If it comes to it, and I don't like the dry finish to it, I will backsweeten it with some honey. I don't want to because I kind of want to keep it the way it's meant to be, but I will if needs be. And yeah, we've got all of that now. Let's get me little pan, my slops pan. Normally what I used to boil hops in, but today, oh, if you could smell this hop bag, it's unbelievable. The amount of juice. Ooh. So what we've got left now is nearly 4 litres of a very murky liquid. And I think that's from the wheat rusk. Hopefully it settles out. It might not. So yeah, I'm gonna go clean the auto siphon because that's full of cake. And yeah, we'll be back in a minute and we'll get this siphoned off into a clean demijohn. And then it can settle out and hopefully do what it's gonna do then. So stuff is sterilised, which I always say is very important. Any bacteria in there can knacker up your whole brew, which means you ruin all your ingredients and you get nothing drinkable at the end. Right, so now we're going to rack that off from here into there, trying to miss that layer of cake that's now settled while this was sterilising again, because it was full of cake, so it needed cleaning. Granted, it probably didn't need sterilising, but I did it anyway. So now we're going to rack it off into there, which I'm going to speed up, as always. Right then, it looks like a super modern double IPA or a New England IPA, something like that, but it's not. It is a Ukrainian style mead. Right, I managed to dodge that layer of cake as well, which I've left in there. We lost a little bit of liquid because of that, but to be honest, I'm not really too bothered. It's neither here nor there. There's a little bit left in the tube that I could get though, so I will have that. We do not want to waste if we can help it, so we'll have that in there. Every mouthful counts. Now, I'm going to have another little taste of this because I had a taste and I wasn't quite sure about it. I think this is going to need sweetening up because the hop profile in this is almost overwhelming. And I like hops. I don't like bits of gunk stuck to my wall though. From where we had that little accident earlier on. It almost smells like lemon curd. It's so intense. Wowzers. I'm not sure what to make of it. I mean, it's nice. It is actually nice. It's got quite a strong alcohol flavour because of all the honey's disappeared. And I think the amount of hops in there has diminished any flavours of honey. What a strange one. Right, so I've got about 4 and a bit litres of that. Probably a little bit less now. I'd probably say about 4 or just under 4 now that I've had another sip. And yeah, I'm going to leave that until it clears, hopefully. And hopefully we get a clear liquid from it. I'm not sure what it is that's floating around. I think it's wheat particles. That's all I can think that it would be. Would be from the cake. A lot of oil came off it as well. It's very, very greasy kind of drink. And that's that for now. 12.8%, 12.4%, sorry. If it does go any drier, it'll add a little bit more. But we've taken it off most of the yeast now. So whether it does or whether it doesn't, whether it's decided it's done, who knows? We will find out later on. So check back for the Ukrainian mead.